Welcome to RG News. Today we're going to discuss the top 10 AI news stories of August 12, 2025. What a day it was. I mean, AI's abstract potential really crystallized yesterday.
Yeah.
We saw it shaping geopolitics, infrastructure, even creative work. If you're feeling like it's hard to keep up with this hyper-evolution of AI and IT, well, you're definitely not alone.
Huh.
So our deep dive today is your shortcut to getting properly informed. We want to give you that strategic edge you need.
Exactly. We're really moving beyond just, quick announcements now. We're seeing these major threads of the AI revolution starting to weave together. The question isn't just what's new. It's more like, what does all this actually mean for you, for your job, for the world? So yeah, let's unpack the crucial stuff.
Okay, let's kick things off with the really big one. OpenAI just unleashed GPT-5. It's sparking revolution, but also some pretty intense debate. What's the real story here?
Right. Well, this isn't just, another upgrade. OpenAI is calling it an intelligence leap.
Hmm?
Their best AI system to date, they say. Capable of acting like, get this, a team of PhD-level experts in your pocket.
A team of PhDs.
Wow. Yeah. And the performance figures are pretty staggering. It scored 94.6% on a pre-Olympic math benchmark. Its coding skills, apparently unprecedented.
Okay, so the power is undeniable. What about the impact?
Well, analysts, folks from Kotak, Gartner, they're already sounding warnings. They think it could seriously erode revenues for the huge Indian software services industry. That's like a $283 billion industry we're talking about.
That's massive.
It signals a fundamental shift. But here's where it gets really, really interesting, almost philosophical. Sam Altman himself. He admitted having a crisis of personal relevance during its development. And he even compared it to the Manhattan Project, asking kind of chillingly, what have we done?
Wow, that Manhattan Project comparison. That really lands hard. It speaks volumes about the perceived power.
Yeah.
And speaking of power, our next story shows how AI is becoming a serious geopolitical tool, especially between the big players.
Yeah, this is quite something. The U.S. government struck this unprecedented deal. It involves NVIDIA and AMD's AI chip sales to China. Essentially, the U.S. gets a 15% cut of the sales for specific chips, the H20 and MI308, going to China.
The 15% cut, so they're taxing the exports.
Sort of. They're calling it monetized authorization. It blurs the lines between commercial policy and national security like never before. Apparently, President Trump initially wanted 20%, but they settled on 15%. It turns export controls, which used to be pretty strict, into this kind of negotiation.
But surely that's controversial.
Oh, absolutely. Critics are calling it a dangerous misuse of export controls. Some even say it might be an unconstitutional export tax. The argument is that it puts revenue ahead of national security. It's definitely a new and very debatable playbook in global tech power.
Fascinating and, yeah, definitely controversial. Okay, let's pivot now from global power plays to, well, something closer to home. Healthcare. How's AI moving into that space?
Right. So the White House just launched this big initiative. It's a public-private partnership focused on digital health. They've got Apple, Google, OpenAI, plus like 60 other tech and health organizations involved.
Yeah, what's the big vision there?
The goal is ambitious. Build a truly patient-centric digital health system. They literally want to kill the clipboard, get rid of the endless paperwork. They plan to break down data silos, use AI tools for managing chronic diseases, maybe even AI assistance for patients.
Finally, no more repeating your medical history a dozen times.
Hopefully. And CMS, that's the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they're pushing for interoperability standards by early 2026. So for you, this could mean much easier access to your own health data, maybe even a national provider directory you can access through an API, streamlining things quite a bit.
That would be a game changer. Okay, so AI is helping manage data, but it's also evolving beyond just generating things, right? You're hearing about agentic AI now.
Exactly. We've all been getting our heads around generative AI, and now comes agentic AI. This is different. It's not just reactive, it's proactive. These systems can perceive, reason, plan, and then act on their own to achieve pretty complex goals.
So, like, more than just writing an email, it could plan a whole trip.
Precisely. Think of an agent that doesn't just find you flights, but organizes your entire business trip, books the hotel, arranges transport, all within your budget with minimal input from you.
Okay, that sounds powerful.
It is. McKinsey's reporting that squads of agents are already automating whole processes, things like KYC/AML checks in banking. And the productivity gains they're seeing, between 200% and even 2,000%, huge numbers.
2,000%, incredible.
Yeah.
But are there downsides, risks?
Yes, there's a new term, agent sprawl. Basically, the risk of too many autonomous agents running around without proper control, that could introduce new systemic risks, unpredictable interactions, security holes, that sort of thing, needs careful management.
Right. Control becomes key. Automating entire processes. That sounds incredibly powerful, but also, frankly, disruptive. Which brings us to the big human question. What about our jobs?
Yeah, the job question is huge, and Sam Altman, OpenAI CEO, he's actually weighed in quite a bit, sparking this generational debate. He thinks Gen Z are, quote, the luckiest kids in history because AI will massively boost their creativity and productivity.
Supercharge them, basically.
Right. He predicts maybe half of entry-level office jobs could be replaced in 5 years. But he says he's more worried for the 62-year-old who doesn't want to reskill.
Okay. But is that the only view?
No, not at all. You've got economists, like one from Goldman Sachs, warning that actually AI will hit Gen Z tech workers first. The reasoning is that many entry-level tasks they do are ripe for automation, so potentially rising unemployment for the 2030 age group.
So it's complicated. AI threatens both entry-level and potentially those unwilling to adapt later.
Exactly. It highlights this complex paradox. Adaptability seems to be the key skill for absolutely everyone.
A stark reminder indeed. Okay, shifting gears again, let's talk about cybersecurity. There was a big win against a ransomware gang.
Yes. Operation Checkmate, a major international effort. The U.S. DOJ and 7 other countries teamed up to dismantle Black Suit. This group is linked to some really notorious gangs like Conti and Royal.
So what did they manage to do?
They seized servers, took down 9 of their websites, and recovered over $1 million in laundered crypto. It's part of this disruption-first strategy hitting their business model hard. And Black Suit was prolific. They hit about 450 organizations, extorted over $370 million.
Wow, so disrupting them really matters.
It does. These groups are resilient. They often just rebrand. So going after their infrastructure, their money, that's crucial. It buys everyone time to beef up defenses.
A significant victory then, showing that global cooperation works. But sometimes threats, or maybe just tricky questions, come from less obvious places, like Disney.
Huh. Yeah, even Disney is wrestling with AI. There was this really interesting internal debate about the live-action Moana remake. They actually considered using AI deepfake tech, specifically to put Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's face onto a body double for Maui.
Seriously. Deep faking The Rock, did they try it?
Well, the tech wasn't the issue, apparently. It was Disney's legal department that put the brakes on it.
The lawyers? Why?
Concerns about data protection, actor rights, sure. But the big one was intellectual property. Could Disney actually claim full copyright for a movie with AI-generated elements, especially if the AI was trained on data with sort of murky ownership? It just shows the legal side is really struggling to keep pace with the tech.
So tech says yes. Lawyers say, hold on. That's fascinating. Speaking of legal and governmental boundaries, how is the U.S. government itself using AI?
They're definitely stepping up their game. The GSA, that's the General Services Administration, they've officially approved OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, the big names, as federal suppliers.
Okay, so it's easier for government agencies to buy their AI now.
Exactly. It streamlines the whole process for federal civilian agencies. It's more than just admin, though. It's a strategic move to really institutionalize AI across government. And importantly, the models were apparently vetted for things like truthfulness, accuracy, transparency, and absence of ideological bias.
Interesting, they built those checks in. Does that give those companies an edge elsewhere?
It certainly could. Federal approval is a pretty strong endorsement. Might boost their standing in the private sector, too. But there's also the flip side. Does it consolidate the market too much? Could it leave smaller AI innovators behind? That's a potential concern.
Right, market concentration. Always a watch out.
Right.
And sometimes the biggest risks are hiding in plain sight, right? In really common software.
Absolutely. Brace yourself for this one. A critical zero-day vulnerability was found in WinRAR. The file compression tool everyone seems to have.
WinRAR. Seriously. This is bad.
It's bad. It's being actively exploited right now, apparently by espionage groups. It's a path traversal flaw. Basically, when you extract an archive, an attacker can drop malicious files anywhere on your system, like into your Windows startup folder so they run automatically.
Oh, that's nasty. Who's using it?
A group called Romcom, believed to be Russia-aligned. They're using targeted phishing emails, things disguised as resumes, hitting sectors like defense, finance, logistics. It's a huge reminder that even old, everyday tools, especially ones like WinRAR that don't auto-update, can be major security weak points.
Update everything. Got it.
Okay.
Vital advice. Finally, let's wrap up with Apple. Siri's getting a makeover.
A massive one, by the sounds of it. Siri's often seen as, well, lagging a bit behind. But Apple is reportedly planning a complete overhaul for a true voice-first future on the iPhone.
Voice first. What does that actually mean?
The idea is for Siri to control pretty much your entire iPhone experience just by voice. Imagine saying something like, Siri, find that beach photo from last week, crop it square, and send it to Mom on WhatsApp, all without touching the screen.
Whoa.
That's ambitious.
Incredibly ambitious. It apparently required a total rebuild of Siri's architecture from the ground up. That's why the big launch is delayed until spring 2026. But this is classic Apple, leveraging their whole integrated ecosystem. They want Siri to be the absolute central hub of your digital life. That's a unique advantage they have. A true hands-free future, potentially. Wow. What an incredible range of developments we've covered today. Just mind-blowing stuff.
It really is. We've seen that huge tech leap with GPT-5, but also the deep geopolitical games with the chip deal. We're seeing AI weave itself into healthcare, into government operations, and at the same time, we're grappling with what it means for jobs and still fighting off cyber threats hidden in everyday software.
Absolutely. It really feels like the future isn't just something happening to us anymore. We're all actively building it piece by piece. These AI agents promise amazing productivity, but yeah, also new risks we need to watch. How governments buy AI, how artists handle deepfakes, how companies actually use this tech day to day. That's what's going to define the next few months, isn't it?
For sure. And just staying informed, like we're trying to help people do. That's only the first step. Really understanding these converging forces and, participating in the conversation about how we govern it, the ethics involved. That's crucial for all of us as this technology reshapes everything.
Couldn't agree more. Join us tomorrow on RG News for the day's AI news. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell.